Hello friends, welcome to Infinity Educare. Today we are going to learn for a lesson from 9th standard, lesson number 1 called as Matter in Our Surrounding. Friends, this lesson is going to be very important for us in 9th standard. In this lesson we are going to learn for what is called as a matter, the properties of matter as well as the states of matter and the changes in the state of matter. So now let's begin with the lesson. लेसन शुरू करने से पहले फ्रेंड्स अगर आपने हमारे इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो प्लीज इसे सब्सक्राइब करें और लाइक करें। चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं हमारे इस लेसन की तरफ। लेसन इज मैटर इन आवर सराउंडिंग। दोस्तों सबसे पहले और इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन ये है कि व्हाट्स कॉल्ड एज अ मैटर। आई थिंक दिस वी ऑलरेडी नो, इन प्रीवियस स्टैंडर्ड वी ऑलरेडी हैव स्टडीड व्हाट द मैटर इज। देन टू मैटर इज एनीथिंग around us which is consisting of a particle। मतलब मैटर वो हर एक चीज है जो पार्टिकल से बनती है। हमारे आसपास होने वाली हर चीज जो पार्टिकल से बनती है इज कॉल्ड एज अ मैटर। सो नाउ लेट्स बिगिन विद हियर वी कैन सी, जैसे कि आप यहाँ पे बोर्ड पे देख सकते हैं, देयर आर मेनी ऑब्जेक्ट्स गिवन। दीज ऑल ऑब्जेक्ट्स आर मेड अप ऑफ पार्टिकल्स। इवन द अर्थ इटसेल्फ इज मेड अप ऑफ पार्टिकल। वी are also made up of particle. Everything in the universe is made up of particles, so they all are called as matter. Okay, so simply we can define the matter. Matter is anything in the universe which is consisting of the particles. So it's quite simple to understand. Matter is anything which is consisting of a particle is called as matter. Now moving to the next concept. Next concept is called as non-matters. स्टूडेंट्स, क्या कोई ऐसे भी ऑब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं जो मैटर से नहीं बनते? जैसे कि हमने अभी अभी देखा, मैटर इज एनीथिंग विच इज कंसिस्टिंग ऑफ अ पार्टिकल। सो ये जितने भी सारे ऑब्जेक्ट्स आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं ये सारे मैटर्स हैं। सो इज देयर एनीथिंग विच इज नॉन मैटर? आंसर इज यस। ऑब्जेक्ट्स और द सब्सटेंसेस और देयर आर सम नॉन मैटर्स like the substances which are not consisting of the particles should be calling as non-matters। वैसे ऐसी कौन सी चीजें हैं जो पार्टिकल से नहीं बनती, लेकिन there are things which are not consisting of a particle which has no mass and which do not occupy the space। There are certain kinds of things which are non-matters। If you can remind, the sources or the kinds of energy, that means the heat is not consisting of a particle, the light is not consisting of a particle, the sound energy is not consisting of a particle, electromagnetic radiations are not consisting of the particle, so they all are called as the non-matters। Simply, matters are the things which are consisting of the particles and non-matters are the things which are not consisting of the particles. As we can see on the board, the light is a non-matter. Mass, it's a property of a substance, but it's a non-matter. The light is again a non-matter. After that, all the forms of energies are non-matters. So here we can simply say that matter is anything which is consisting of a particle which occupies a space, which has a mass, and non-matters are the things which are not consisting of the particles and which do not occupy the space. So these are simply called as non-matters. Now moving back to the next concept, as you can see on the board, that's called as properties of matter। Friends, matters जो होते हैं they are having definite properties। सबसे पहला an important property होता है, every matter is consisting of small tiny particles। Here on the board we can see there is a solid, there is a liquid and the gas, they all are consisting of the particles and therefore they are matters। The second property for matter is every matter has its definite mass। मतलब हर matter का अपना definite mass होता है। Now what's called as a mass? Mass is the property, mass is the amount of a substance which is involved into the particular body is called as a mass। Quite simple to learn. Mass is the amount of substance present inside a body is called as a mass। Okay, to the next. We have seen two properties. Property number one, that's called as every matter is consisting of small, tiny particles. Property number two says that every matter has its own mass. And property number three says that every matter has its own volume. Volume means the space occupied by a substance is called as a volume. Okay, so that was the third property of a matter. Moving back to the next. Matter, the particles of matter are in continuous motion. These are the four properties of a matter. Okay, now moving back to the next point. Next point is said to be properties of matter. How we can prove them? There are some activities by which we can prove these properties of matter. तो सबसे पहला जो property है हमारा, that's called as the particle of a matter are very tiny or every matter is consisting of small tiny particles. अभी इसे कैसे prove करें? Since every particle of a matter cannot be seen, how can we prove that every substance is made up of particles? So here we can see, for this we are going to perform an activity. जैसे कि आप यहाँ पे बोर्ड पे देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पे हमने क्या किया है, we have taken 2 or 3 crystals of potassium permanganate in one beaker and we have made the solution of 100 ml as you can see over there. After that we have taken one test tube or we have taken 10 ml out of that and then we have again diluted to 100 ml, then again we have taken one test tube out of that and again diluted to 100 ml. See, every time whenever we are going to dilute it, the color of potassium permanganate, that means the pink color or the violet color, goes on decreasing, right? So that's what called as, we can see more are the dilutions, the color will become faint and more faint. It means that there are, or the potassium permanganate is consisting of small particles. Okay, the second property of a matter is that particles of matter have the space in between them. Now, how can we prove this property? For this, we have an activity to perform in which we are going to, what we are going to do in this activity, we are going to take a beaker and in a beaker we are going to take some amount of water and after taking water we are going to dissolve some amount of salt in it. See, whenever the salt is dissolved into the water, the salt will get dissolved, it disappears, it gets dissolved, but the amount of water will not increase. You may add some more salt, again dissolve it, check it out, the amount of matter will not increase. See, if we are going to add some amount of a matter in a matter which is already present, so the volume of a matter should increase. But it was not happening. It means that there are some gaps or there are some spaces in between the particles of matter which are occupied by the new matter added. That's why the volume does not increase. This thing proves that there are spaces between the particles of a matter. Okay, so इस एक्टिविटी में हमने एक बीकर लिया है, बीकर में हमने लिया थोड़ा सा वाटर, अभी हम ऐड करने जा रहे हैं some amount of salt in this. Okay, after addition of salt we can observe the volume of a solution will not increase, it remains same. It means that there should be space in between which are occupied by the salt particles and therefore the volume does not increase. इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि matters are having the space between their particles. Okay, moving back to the next concept. So friends, आज के लिए बस इतना ही. In today's lecture we have seen what's called as a matter. We also have seen what are the non-matters. After that we also have started for the next what's called as properties of matters. We have seen total 4 properties. The first property was matters are made up of particles. The second property was every matter has a mass. Third property was every matter has its own volume, and last property was matter के जो particles होते they are in continuous motion. Matter के जो particles होते they are in continuous motion, and the last that we have seen now is particles of a matter have the space in between. So these are the properties we have seen. Remaining points we'll discuss in the next lecture. Friends, again I would remind you, अगर आपने हमारा ये चैनल अभी तक सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो प्लीज इसे सब्सक्राइब करें और लाइक करें. Thank you very much.